Every company I work with on AI hits the same wall. They buy the tools, build a few agents, the team gets excited, and then the plateaus. The AI is fast at things that don't matter and clueless about the things that actually do. The problem is always in the same place. Let me show you. So when you look at where companies are investing when it comes to AI, there's 3 layers of investment. Layer 3 is applications. So that's new SaaS tools, ChatGPT subscriptions, Claude, AI agents, whatever. Those tools are generic because they don't know your organization. And then we have another layer, systems of record, is just tooling that people get obsessed with, which database to use. Should we use RAG or should we use Notion or something else? But most people aren't really focusing on what I call the value layer, which is domain knowledge, process logic, institutional intelligence. But here is exactly where you will want to focus, because this is where your value compounds. With every interaction, you will get smarter running your own workflows, which makes the AI smarter to run your workflows on behalf of you or instead of you, depending on the workflow. And we have 3 parts of this. We have context, we have prompting, and we have orchestration. So we make sure we inject the right data in the beginning. Could be domain knowledge, could be proprietary data. We have prompting. So how should the agent or the tool behave, which is more important than which tool it is. And we have orchestration. So we have decision-making, automated AI reviews, human in the loop process creation, right? So essentially what triggers which specific workflow, when does it run, and how can we make sure all the busy work is done by AI and not done by us. But the important steps, which require a human to review them, are still part of the process, because otherwise it's useless, right? So if there is a necessary review step and we don't do it, then we can't rely on the automation to do it for us. And every hour you spend here for applications, or you spend system of records, is taken away from the value layer, which is what makes those tools specific to your business or your use case. All right, so how does this look in practice? This is an example of an AI agent for DCF modeling and scenario generation for real estate. So this is for real estate investors. And if we're looking into the value layer, we're seeing, real estate valuation expertise. We see deal structuring logic, market report interpretation, which is all context. We have DCF modeling frameworks, we have scenario generation logic, we have data synthesis rules. So, which data should be taken from where, for example, market prices should be only taken from a specific source, or we have also connected an API for statistic data on material pricing, things like that. And essentially orchestration, which is a long-running multi-session agent. Essentially, the DCF model is the core or center of multiple conversations, and we make sure that the memory is always there of what happened before, so that we can iterate on a DCF model and scenarios as we gather more information, but that is shared across multiple chats. And again here, external data integration, the Status, a German database or statistics database, and then CBRE, big real estate company. This is one example, but this works for any company that wants to experiment with AI or use AI should be using this. And almost nobody is building this intentionally. It's more or less a side effect of people not being happy with the work that AI is doing out of the box, right? And then trying to figure out how to improve that performance, or just straight up dismissing the tool and saying AI doesn't work. I've seen that a million times, as usually user error, as we call it. That's because those tools don't know your business unless you teach them. So the gap between a useful assistant and an indispensable team member is entirely in this value layer. So if you're investing into it right now, the question isn't which tools you should buy, but rather if you're focusing on the right layer in the 3-layer stack. The tools will change, the system of records will change, but your business and your domain expertise and your domain knowledge won't. So that becomes an asset that gets more valuable every day. For more breakdown videos like this, feel free to subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next one.